And I'm actually going to get right into it. And you really want to know how. How can I blaze my own path? How can I be successful? How can I follow the path that someone else has laid for me to be successful? Yo,
this is the Queen of Zenubia, and I am back with another amazing episode of the Hustle and Motivate podcast. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. But today we have another amazing hustler who's going to motivate us with the work that they are doing. But before we do that, make sure you download the Cincy Black Travel app. Everything you need to know about Black Cincy, download the app. You need a trip to Cincy, download the app. You need a trip to get out of Cincy, download the app, because we have everything that you need. With our partnership with CVG, we offer a lot of discounts on travel. So make sure you check out the app. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out Entrepreneurship, one of the top Black-owned premium whiskey brands at your local spirit shops. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. And I am here with an amazing queen in our city, and I'm excited to share with you guys all of the amazing things that she has going on. So I am here with Whitney. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Whitney Harris. I am from Cincinnati, born and bred. I'm a journalist here in the city. I do a lot of community work, and I would like to say that everything that I do is kind of influenced by my passion for helping the community. I'm a news reporter at iHeart Media, and I'm an entrepreneur at Plan Cincy. I own Plan Cincy. So
I'm excited, especially to talk about Plan Cincy and share. But you know what's funny? I guess your work by day is the news reporter, and by night is Plant by Cincy. Which those are like two different kind of things. But I guess the balance of it, because one, you're in the media side, that's always fast paced. But then the plants, you can be present, and get some zen and peace. So how is it balancing that dynamic?
Okay, well, let's see. Balancing it mentally, I have had questions like, how did I end up in this conundrum? Whereas like I got my foot in two totally different worlds, but they actually balance me out. Okay. Let's see. Before I got into media, I didn't do a lot of community work as much as I wanted to, and then I was actually more into plants, and that was a wonderful space. It afforded me the ability to find my equilibrium and find my peace and just be inspired. And then so I kind of had that leg already, straight, and just I had a foundation as far as the plants were concerned. So when I added in media, it actually balanced me out. So I appreciate being able to be in the know about what's happening, and that way I feel like I can help people, help us at the best of my ability. But then also it is so important to me that we are able to just be inspired and have community. And I always feel like we are in progress to finding our own equilibrium as a people and individually.
All right, so that's amazing. So tell me about Plant Cincy, because I look at your page and I see you got like your events make me like want to show up with some plants and kick it. So is that like, tell me, how did Plant Cincy come into fruition? How and what made you want to turn that into a business?
Absolutely. Okay, so just to take it all the way back and touch on where it all started.
Okay.
Let's see. I have aunties and a father who were into gardening and plants. Okay. I think we all got a Black auntie, with some plants in her house, right, and that was into plants before plants became popular and like COVID, post-COVID. But so yeah, I had my dad was into gardening when I was a kid.
Okay.
And he had the most beautiful garden, and he would force us to help him out. And I mean, at the time I used to feel like I was being forced, but as an adult, I'm so grateful for those times that we had together. That was a seed that he planted into me. Then we fast forward into COVID, and during COVID, I maybe started with 2 plants.
Okay.
By the end of COVID, by the time COVID was said and done, I was well over 170 plants
Oh wow.
that I was taking care
became
of.
the plant lady.
Oh yeah, I became the plant lady, and that, I mean, just being, for everyone, being at home during COVID meant something different, and but overall it meant to reconnect with ourselves, and I was able to do that through nurturing things around me that were living things. And every time I would see a new leaf, or some growth, or just my plant being healthy, it would make me genuinely happy. So I wanted to share that. Okay. And I want to say that is what's influenced me going into Plan Cincy. I wanted other people to know what that felt like, to feel that joy of cultivation, and to see something thriving under their care, something that wasn't exactly super stressful, because we all have our responsibilities when it comes to taking care of ourselves and maintaining. But I wanted other people to know what that felt like, and I thought to myself, what other way than to have a day party? At the time, I was bartending at, when we came out of COVID, I was making some extra money bartending at Arts OTA.
Okay.
And Master Fresh knew that I was in plant, and Master Fresh knew that I was into plants, and he said, "Down here, run it up." And I was like, "Oh, like really? Like here?" He was like, "Put it together. I support you. I think that people will love it." And he was absolutely right. After the first event, I just was like, what? So, I had a lot of help from family and friends, but the community came out. I noticed people of all different ages, colors. Like I said, the aunties who were already into plants would come out and give me the game. I saw friends coming out, friend groups. I saw sisters and mamas and daughters, and I even saw I had some mamas bring their little kids. And so, that really lit a fire under me and let me know that there was a space in Cincinnati for plants.
Yeah, I think that is super awesome, especially because I'm really big on our community, especially the Black community, getting back in tune with nature.
Yes.
Because that was like a thing that our ancestors did. We were cultivators of the land.
We were.
And throughout time, just being a cultivator of the land became looked down upon as if it was a poor man's job, or just a job that's not important. But to be able to cultivate the land, to make things grow, is so much power in that, and so much stress relief, because our demographic, our community, we deal with a lot of stress.
There is a mental health factor there. Yes.
And so I know it's so crazy. I know the day that me and you talked, we were I had just went to a gardening workshop, and it was it was a therapeutic gardening workshop, and I was like, wow, how synergy, how everything lines up is good with that. But everybody that was there to learn about the therapeutics of gardening, getting your hands in the soil, having some plants around, it lifts your mood, and that's so important. So kudos to you for filling in that space that's so needed in our community. So Plan Cincy, you guys do events. Are there other things that people can learn? You got programs going on?
Yes.
Things of that nature.
So one thing about it, when you move towards something that you are naturally passionate about, you will find that all of the doors will start opening for you that you're supposed to walk in. And through Plant Cincy, what am I doing? And through Plan Cincy, I was able to make some wonderful connections. I recently teamed up or met a wonderful Black woman who's a farmer.
Okay.
And she is into getting people into learning how to be self-sufficient through feeding themselves through gardening. And I just think that this collaboration is so important because, between me and her, is so important because I like to think that I'm the person that piques interest. Because you get people, especially, us, like you were saying, it's something that we weren't necessarily into because we all had a bias against putting our hands in the dirt, especially because it would make us think of the negative things. But we actually have cultivated this wonderful land that we all get to live on. And working with her, I think that it's important because I get people interested in tending to a plant. See, she'll come to somebody and say, "Hey, you should get into gardening." And the first thing they say is, "I can't get into no dang on gardening. I'm gonna make it.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Die." And the thing for me that made me want to say I'm ready to jump into gardening is because I'm already doing it. I'm already in keeping plants alive. So I'm at the advantage where I believe that it's possible. So we're working together so that we can pique the interest of the community, get the kids involved, get everyone involved, and just get us all back being self-sufficient in our own way.
Yeah.
And so, that's a program that we have going on right now. I'm working with a farmer who is a Black woman. She is brilliant. And we're looking to get the community involved in starting their own gardens.
Okay. I think that is super amazing. Self-sufficiency is key, especially when you tell people like, yo, you can grow your salads in your backyard.
You can.
You can. My mom, she's the gardener in the green thumb in our family. So every year she starts a garden.
Come on,
like
Mama.
most of our veggies come from her. And the
Do
herbs,
they?
yeah,
Yes.
the herbs. Like anytime anybody's sick, like go pick out some mint, go get this lemon balm and stuff like that. And so I'm glad like she got that thumb. I don't got it at all. It's not that I don't have it. It's the timing.
Yeah, it is.
Takes to put into it, but those are so important for our community. So I'm excited about your programs and we'll be on the lookout.
And I can't wait to, get everybody involved. We can be those aunties and those grandmas and mamas who are cultivating these teas, and we got little pockets of young people who do it. But I mean, we get it together as a community. There is the sky is the limit as to how we can, and that's just one, plants and being able to create food for ourselves. That is just one avenue of how we're going to be able to take back what's ours.
Right. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I think so.
For someone who's like, all right, like you said, you started off with 2 plants, and then about a year you had 100 and something plants. So I know there's somebody that's watching it that's like, you know what, I am interested in getting some plants, but I need to know which plant to get something that's good for me. Like, what would be that plant that you would tell people to start off with?
Okay, I would say that there is a couple.
Okay.
There's a couple of plants, but I'm gonna give you a top 3.
Okay.
The first plant that I would suggest that a person start off with, I think it's a great plant because it doesn't require a ton of light. So if your apartment doesn't have a ton of light and you're afraid that it's going to die for that reason, or if you're a person who has a busy schedule, or just, when you come home, you're not always thinking about everything else around you. The Sansevieria plant, the nickname for that is a snake plant or a mother-in-law's tongue.
Okay.
That is a wonderful plant to start off with because that plant will keep going. That plant won't just die on you. It's gonna hold it down until you look over and say, "Oh, hey, baby," and decide to water it. So that's a good plant to start off with.
Okay.
Next, because of on the same tune as scheduling is concerned, if you're a person who is really, really busy and you want to have a plant which isn't needy, I talk about them like they're people or she or he. But if you want a plant that isn't needy and that won't die on you, the next plant would be a ZZ plant.
Okay.
The ZZ plant only needs to be watered once a month.
Oh wow, that's the kind of I need to start with for my plant room.
The ZZ plant. So we got
ZZ plant.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the third one, and this is just because they are so beautiful.
Okay.
The Monstera.
Okay.
The monstera does need light, not a ton of light, but the leaves are like satellite discs.
Okay.
So you want to turn it towards the light during the day when the light is available, when the sun is out.
Okay.
But they're not so finicky to the point where you won't be able to figure them out.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to kind of pay attention to them a little bit more, but you have the space to allow them to dry out completely before you water them again.
Okay.
So the monstera is like gorgeous, and that's the reason why I had to throw her on there, because you'll see the monstera plant and decide for yourself. She's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we got 3 plants to start with. So anybody that's like me, we need, we starting off small. So that's them 3 plants. Make sure you take your notes. So getting into the therapeutic benefits, and then just our community. And I know we touched a little bit about it in our conversation, but what are the benefits of this type of work? Because it's more than just, plants are good, plants are pretty,
Right.
but it's something deeper to it. Can you kind of go into that?
Absolutely. I think that as a people, and when I say a people, I'm talking about us, Black people, people
Yes.
of color. We have a lot of healing to do.
Yeah.
And in our own ways, we've grown to try and find ways to do that, to
Yeah.
heal. A lot of us heal through our relationships. We try to heal through, some of those might not even look as positive as having great relationships with people.
Yeah.
And so I have found that plants offer a positive way to heal. And through building a community of people who are into plants, you tend to come across people who are wanting to find solutions for themselves that aren't hurting them.
Yeah.
I would say usually the person who is into plants wants to better themselves. They are considering therapy, they are in therapy, they are maybe drinking less, maybe having a glass of wine, maybe they want to get more into eating better.
Mm-hmm.
So just fostering that community in general is great for everybody.
Yeah.
Because not only are we all here, to just learn about plants, but we're around people who are a positive influence on our lives.
Yeah. I think that's important. I always have a thing that I tell people. I said we're earth plants, we're earth flowers.
Yes, we are. We need water just like plants do.
Yes.
We need care and nurturing, and to stop and pay attention to what we are lacking in the same way that a plant needs you to. Yeah. So, let's see. There's been times where I can look around the room at my plants and notice what kind of state they are in, and it's a reflection of where I'm at.
Oh wow! Okay.
In life.
Yeah.
If I'm not taking the time out to water them on time, on a schedule, or repot a plant that is literally begging me to separate it from another plant that is maybe taking its nutrients away.
Yeah.
I recently had that happen, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, okay, I might be feeling a little bit guilty about not taking care of it, but then when I do take the time to do that, I feel better. And then I'm also going into myself and I'm like, oh, okay, I was a little busy. I was running myself a little ragged here lately, and I needed to slow down to just kind of consider what my needs were. Yeah. And so maybe I'm chit-chatting with my plants and letting them know, like, girl, me too.
Like,
we were both struggling, and look at us now.
Right.
So,
okay, that's a good way to that's a good reflection piece.
Yes.
Self-care piece too.
Yeah, that's why I encourage it.
Yeah, because that's kind of like taking care of your plants. To remind yourself to take care of yourself.
Absolutely, and the plant will turn around and take care of you as well.
Yeah.
That snake plant, that Sansevieria plant that I suggested, number one, that will clean your air at night while you're sleeping.
Wow.
There's a lot of plants that do that, but the Sansevieria plant is like high on the list as for plants that does it. It will make it so that you have good energy in your home.
Okay.
And yeah, it is an air purifier, a natural air purifier. So you take care of it, it'll take care of you.
Man, and that's important, especially in Cincinnati.
Yes.
This is like the top location for asthma, allergies, eczema.
Yes.
And it's a lot has to do with our environment, the air that we breathe,
Yeah.
The fact that we're in this dip and all these factories and all this pollution.
Very industrious area that we are in.
So having a plant can help combat that as well. So I'm loving this information. So one of the topics that people have been, just my guests when they come on here, they've been talking a lot about the violence within teens and young people, and just ways that our community can help combat that. Just having this conversation with you is like, man, what if schools implemented more programs that got children and young adults more in tune with nature, with plants? Like, how do you think that would benefit?
I think that it would benefit them so well. I am a inner city kid who benefited from programs from people like us who believed that it mattered. That's all it takes. And I think I did things like pottery class when I was a kid, and I did things like art and, all of those things that just kind of helped to shape me into who I am today and nurture me. And I think that putting gardening and soil, I think that putting gardening into the schools will help the children to relax, help the children to understand that they're actually nurturing a living thing. My daughter, when she first, because she didn't grow up around a parent who, not initially, who had a ton of plants around the house. And I would talk about them all, a lot, and obviously they're alive. And we're having this conversation, and at first she would go, "Ugh, they alive?" and now, I'll catch her making sure that I'm not falling off from my watering routine. She'll go over to a plant and address it by the name that we've given it, and she'll make sure it has a little water, or if it's turned a little, if it needs to be rotated, she'll rotate it. And that is just her learning how to be a caregiver before she grows up to be a woman and she's taking care of her own home one day.
That's like cultivating those nurturing skills.
Yes, in a healthy way.
A very healthy
way.
I think that's awesome. So I just moved into my new house, and so I always wanted like a meditation plant room type space, and so I finally have that space, and so now I'm trying to figure out what are the right plants. So I'm taking the top 3 you just gave me, and then just build from there. Just because, like you said, plants do raise the vibration.
Yes, they do.
They clear the air. I heard a lot of people, they talk to their plants. And the plants talk back. I even know people, they actually play music for their plants. And just like you said, they really treat it like a living being, because it is.
Oh yeah, they are.
I'm just,
if you got negative energy in your space, whether that be because you're going through your own bout of depression, because we all do, or whether you are just dealing with, individuals outside of you that you have no control over, your place can feel that, and you'll look at their health and see that it's a reflection of what's going on with you. It's interesting. It's like, they're sentient beings to an extent, because they can feel that and they follow your lead. They truly do. And when they're healthy, not only are you happy, you come in the room, you feel a little bit like, a little bit less stress, you relax your shoulders a little bit more. The people that come into your space can feel that as well. When you have your own indoor jungle, people just feel at ease when they're around. So
I definitely experienced that. We did a commercial shoot, and the house that we used, they had a plant room.
Ooh, I love that so much.
Like, it was just, I'm telling you, that lady had every plant that you could probably think of, probably the 100 and something plants that you had,
and maybe and then some.
And then some. But it was just, when you walked into that space, I felt like how I feel like when I go on my nature hikes or nature walks. Like, it just uplifts. It feels like it just takes away that negative energy, or just the energy of the day, and you just feel relaxed.
And so you do.
I think that's something that I'm really passionate about, our community getting in tune with, because it'll help balance things on so many levels. So many things that people say that we gotta work on as a community. But it's like none of that stuff's going to matter on a collective level unless we start dealing with ourselves first.
Yes.
Managing our stress better, finding out what our happiness is, and just maintaining a positive, healthy vibration.
Absolutely.
What you're talking about is a good way to get started in that. So I'm excited to have you here to talk about this.
Listen, managing stress, managing our relationships, managing the time that we take to take care of ourselves, managing what we eat.
Yeah.
I tell people, because plants, they drink water. And I am if you know me, anybody that know me, if I get a friend or my daughter, anybody, they'll say, oh, I got a headache, or oh, I'm tired. I say, did you drink some water today? Did you drink some water today? And they're like, here you go with this drinking some water. But I'm like, baby, you are like a plant.
Man, that's true. I went to a holistic practitioner. So I go to a holistic practitioner and a regular doctor. Try to see them both at least once a year. So the doctors, you go there, you tell them about all the aches and pains. They want to treat it with a pill.
They do.
All the time.
That's all they know.
Yeah. And so when I go to my holistic practitioner, my blood pressure was high. And so he was like, okay, he broke it down. Blood pressure's high because your kidneys are overworked because you're not getting enough water.
Yes.
Like,
and it's as simple as that.
Yeah. So he had me sit there and drink a whole bottle of water.
Did he? Right here, so I can see you.
I started feeling better. And that was my reminder. It's not because I don't like water, but sometimes we get so busy.
We do.
We don't drink enough water. And a lot of our ailments, like you said, a headache, not feeling tired, is because you're dehydrated and you don't know it. And just me drinking that bottle of water he made me drink, and then being mindful that week of my water intake, the blood pressure went down. I didn't feel like high strung like I was feeling, and I'm like, wow, I gotta remember to take my water because, like you said, we're like plants.
Our bodies are over 70% made of water.
Yeah.
So, do what you will with that information, but I mean, a Coca-Cola and a Mountain Dew it's just not gonna do it. No pun intended.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna do it when you're made up of so much water.
Yeah, and then the sugar dries you out.
Yes, it does.
So
it dehydrates you. Yes, it do. The salt bloats you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm from the old school. I was raised by old school, so when I was coming up, my food had to have a little flavor on it, and I used to see my grandma put a little salt shaker of salt, and I enjoy that too. But regardless of what your eating habits are, whether you're vegan or whether you're like, baby, I ain't putting that pork down.
Yeah.
Hey, add a little bit more water to your diet and see what happens.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. You will literally be surprised.
How water is like the bottom line to a lot of the elements.
It is.
So I think
your skin will look better.
Man, what you said?
Oh my goodness. Everything will just start regulating. One thing I tell people, if you don't want to make a instant change to your diet, just let water be the first thing that you drink when you wake up in the morning. And we've all heard that. I'm not a doctor, but you've heard it from a doctor and holistic people who practice that. They'll tell you, let it, because it'll get you regulated correctly. And it is actually like the best way to start off a day. Not coffee, not tea. Well, tea's great too, but just water. I like room temperature water. People think that's weird.
Well, you should.
You should. Yeah. I mean, when this started as I was a teenager, I actually had a very hippie type dad. He was an alternative thinker. I never saw him eat a fast food meal in my life.
Yeah.
My mom was the opposite.
Okay.
They say opposites
of
attract. And he told me when I was young, he said, you don't think it's weird that you gotta warm the water up in your mouth before you swallow it? Just a little bit. When it's icy cold, we think we're just drinking it straight down. But we warm it up just a little bit so that it can go down. And just like with anything, when it's tea, you can tell. If you have tea after a meal, you can tell that it's actually helping your food go down better. But when it's a cold drink, even though it's tasty, it is. Imagine putting cold water on grease.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
That'll do it.
I learned that very early. I like to drink room temperature water. I hate stuff for super cold. And I actually learned it from. I used to work at the Amazon Hair Supply. It was on North Bend. That was like my first job when I was 16. And I noticed my employers, every time they ate, they drank tea. They just drink hot tea. And I asked them, like, why y'all always drink hot tea with the food? And they was like, well, just think about it. If you eat some fried chicken, well, if you leave some fried chicken out and you fried it in grease, that grease is going to solidify once it gets cold.
Yes, it will.
And so if you eat that fried chicken and drink that water behind it, what you think is really happening to your body. And I was like, so you drink the tea, one, it helps you digest the food faster, you feel full faster because your food is digested faster. And you don't have a lot of the clogging that happens. So that's very key.
And the clogging is prevalent in our community.
Yeah, the high cholesterol.
That's just the reality of it.
Congestion, high blood pressure, all of that at the end of the day deals with, stuff not moving
the way that it's supposed to. Yes. I especially love it when I see young people and more mature people alike being more concerned about what they're putting in themselves. That comes with just maturity and being guided in the wrong way. I mean, in the right way. Being guided in the wrong way is how we're hurting ourselves with and keeping the process going on of, sickness. My dad, oh, that's my baby. Clearly. But my dad also taught me that when I was a young age. He said, baby girl, a lot of the things that people go through is because of their habits. It's because of their habits. It was not just a curse that you took on that was inevitable, that you had no control over. Pay attention to how you're treating yourself. And I think as a kid I was like, okay, all right, here we go again with another lecture. But as a woman, I'm taking the time to grow and just constantly working towards being and becoming. I take a moment and those seeds and those gems come back to me, and I'm just like, Dad, you was right. Because the way that we treat ourselves will be a reflection of what we put out. And I found at my ripe age that the way that I treat myself will be the state that I'm in the next 10 years. So the way that you treat yourself in your 20s, that's what you're gonna have to work with in your 30s. And when you in your 30s, the way you treat yourself in your 30s, that's what you're going to have to work with that next decade. So if it's a whole bunch of alcohol and a whole bunch of, and don't get me wrong, I like my mimosas and everything like that too, just like the next person. But we just got to just be more cognizant of what we have going on, just especially for us, because we weren't taught as a people a better way. And in a lot of cases, it wasn't our elders' fault. It's just what they had available to them.
So they had available. Because I always tell people, because I'm big on holistic health and our history, our ways, that what we're talking about in this conversation is the plants and healthy. Those are our ancient ways that were stripped from us when we, when they started bringing slaves here. Not to say every Black person is from slavery. I know that's not true. We were everywhere before slavery. That's another topic for another day.
Okay, we can get in that.
The ones that were here and put as slaves, like, it was illegal for them to learn how to cultivate the land for their own. Because I remember this lady, she's on YouTube, Ayalosa Olaomi. She is really big in Ifa, but she is a good historian. And she was talking about how our ancestors were able to draw lightning from the sky just from herbs. Like, that was the essence of what we came from, and that's power in that. So it was like that knowledge had to be stripped from us, and we were like redirected to where our energy would be used for the gain of someone else versus, us just sustaining and living life. So everything we're talking about, this is our ancestors' knowledge. This is where we came from. We just have straight away forgot, and we live in this modern society. But I think in order for, just as the human race, in order for us to have some longevity, we have to be really considering how we're giving back to the planet. We just can't keep taking back from Earth. We can't just keep polluting everything. We can't ignore the things that we need. We have to really bring those habits, bring those teachings back. So that's why, again, I commend you for making Plan Cincy, because now sometimes I don't want to go to the club and drink mimosas and have brunch. I want to kick it, but let's kick it with some plants. Like, that type of thing. It opens the door for that knowledge to come back.
Yes, I think it's so important to open that door for the conversations,
Yes.
open that door for the curiosity, open that door for the community.
Yeah.
And just kind of being involved with people who want to do healthier things and just seek out healthier things.
Yeah.
You can still have fun. It's okay to still have fun, but just give us some better choices, because I think that was what was missing in our community overall. It's just to be able to have choices.
Yeah. And then what we're talking about is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Our
yeah.
idea of
It
fun.
ain't it fun,
It is fun.
Oh, and they make me so happy.
It
That's
is
the reason why.
enjoyable.
Yeah, they are. Oh my goodness, I love being able to just sit down and just talk to people, and just to see during a plant and sip in general, which we offer wine, but we also offer alkaline water and fresh juices. And but during that event in general, the people who are into plants and the people who are not into plants, the conversation that's happening across the board with everybody. I mean, I have had Black men come back to me months down the line and say, hey, pull out their phone, and they pulling up pictures of their plant. Look at my plant. Look at my plant. Look, my baby thriving. And I'm like, man, look at you. That's just
saying, brother.
It's joy inspiring, and I can see how happy they become, and it just makes me happy. And I just want that. I just want that to continue on throughout my peers and throughout the younger generation, and I want them to grow an interest for taking care of themselves in a healthy way, because it is so important. The healing across the board, the trust across the board for our community, it is so important.
Man, it really is. It makes me think about my mom when she'll take my kids to either go gardening, like she
Your mom is the best. I love mom. Shout out to mama.
Yes.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, if I didn't mention her while we had this conversation, she will go off on me like, girl.
Because
Yes, for sure. Give her shouts out. But she just recently, my kids had little cups of herbs, and they planted them.
The seeds.
The goal is for them to grow, and then she'll transplant them into the garden. But the excitement that my younger children have when the plant starts sprouting,
that's
growing,
the best.
and being able to water it. Like sometimes they can be over attentive to it, water it too much, but just that excitement, it's really amazing. It's really cool. So let's talk about, when is the next Plan Cincy sipping?
Yes. So Plan Cincy
Yes.
will be having its next Plant and Sip. Oh my goodness! Please follow us to keep up. But the next one will be at an OTR at Somerset. We're gonna have a Earth Day shindig.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
After that, we'll be doing a series with Black Art Speaks.
Okay.
Where we're getting the community involved with planting and gardening, and you can look out for that in the neighborhoods of Avondale and Roseline.
Okay.
And then after that, well, I would say during that, I'm working with an amazing woman. Her name is Sierra the Farmer. She is certified. She is a sister. And we are working to getting the community involved into getting their hands in the dirt as well. And that series will be called Black to Nature. Y'all should really, really, really look out for that. We'll be doing things like hiking and workshops, and this will happen once a month. So yeah, we have Earth Day coming up, and then we have this series which will be once a month with Black Art Speaks, and then we'll have Black to Nature happening once a month as well. Black to Nature, the difference between that one and the others is that we're going to get you outside.
Okay.
We'll get you outside doing workshops, identifying plants and nature, and then workshops such as hiking, plant boxes or garden boxes, so that you can actually learn, like you were saying, your children were doing, how to grow a plant and grow some food. So So you have the option of whether you want to grow a plant that's pretty, because some people feel more safe with that, or you can decide to cultivate some food. I recently made a Facebook post where I said, and this isn't, I didn't come up with the idea. We've all felt this before, but I recently made a post, and this was just some, I don't know, some runoff thoughts that I was having. I said, I wonder what the feedback might be. So what I said was, we should all start a garden and start trading food. Man. And when I tell you, I talk stuff on Facebook. I be yapping. That post went crazy, and I met with people who I wouldn't have even imagined would have been interested in doing it. I had all my people who were actually already interested in doing and working with plants that were like, oh yeah, I got, these are my resources. Yeah. And then the other people were like, well, oh yeah, we should do that. And it was how fast everything came together just on a freaking post. So I said, yeah, let's do it.
Are people ready?
We are
ready. I think we're ready to go back to where we came from. You know? So
let's get black to nature, y'all.
Black to nature.
Come on.
Yes. And then the Black to Nature, I think, is dope. I remember, and not to keep plugging my mom, but I remember she used to, when she was in Nashville.
Can please keep plugging, Mom?
Oh yeah. But I would connect her to you because she did an edible weeds workshop. So
come on,
they kind of did like a nature walk and then identified plants for what were edible, what you can eat, what's poisonous, and things of that nature. So that kind of reminds me of that program.
That is so empowering in the sense that in today's world, there are no guarantees, and we are starting to learn that.
Yeah. We
have had challenges with respiratory illnesses where we may say it came from China. We may say that it was an accident. We don't know if it was an act of war. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But we are finding out that we really have to be equipped these days and age. I mean, we got billionaires who are out here building bunkers.
Yeah.
So we better know something, thing or two.
Yes.
When it comes to just surviving and being able to identify what could very well save our life.
Exactly, and I think that's super important. It's essential. Survival skills at the finest.
Yes.
How to purify your water, what plants you can eat, what you can grow. I just identify if soil is healthy or not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Like all of that is super amazing. So for the plant and sit for Earth Day, what do people need to bring if they want to attend? Do we gotta bring plants, or just come as yourself? You can bring a plant if you have it. Give us the rundown so we can be prepared.
Absolutely. Everything you gotta bring is yourself.
Okay.
That's the only thing you need to bring is yourself. So the Earth Day plant and sit. I'll have everything for you. Soil, a beautiful plant to pick from, and we'll have the vibes. Somerset has even decided on a gorgeous orange cocktail for the people who are interested in sipping.
Okay.
And I'll have some pressed juices for you there as well. But yeah, no, just bring yourself and whoever else is interested in hanging out with you. So it could be a great date night. It could be something that you do with a family member, a best friend, or just have some alone time out in the community with yourself. It'll be like a very chill Monday, but it's still like you're celebrating something. So
wow. Okay, and you actually get a plant.
You actually go home with a plant.
Wow.
Name her, name him, and take care of them, because I make sure that I give out the best quality, and it makes me feel so good when people come back and tell me that they still have that plant. It is hanging on. You'll be surprised. Some people got plants trailing all up their wall, and I don't know, it just makes you feel safe and happy and brings good energy to your home and cleans your air, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. So come to the plant and sit, absolutely, and enjoy yourself, and vibe out, because there will be music, there will be community there, everybody just hanging out, everybody look different, and that's the best part about it, because we can learn from each other. And the plant and sit, 4/22 Earth Day.
4/22 plant and sit Earth Day. Make sure you guys are in the building. I know I'm going to put it on my calendar.
Absolutely.
So I can be there, because it sounds like it's a good old time.
And if you can't make it to the Earth Day plant and sit, put the 5/18, May 18th is the Black Art Speaks plant workshop.
Okay.
And that one you can bring the kids.
Okay.
And we'll be having an important conversation about community and awareness about what we can do about gun violence.
Mm-hmm. And that's another big topic.
That is a huge topic right now.
Yeah.
And so my work with Black Art Speaks takes me there. It allows me to use my journalism and fuse, my love and my passion for cultivation and nurturing, and bring them together, to just bring them to the community. Both things that I am super passionate about. So yeah, the plant workshop on May 18th it will definitely be special. Okay. And it'll be my first workshop with Black Art Speaks, as a plant workshop. And so this will be great. Make sure you don't miss it. You can bring the kids, and we'll have a very fruitful conversation. And then there you'll leave with a plan as well.
Oh, that looks like it's going to be amazing. So I'll make sure I get some flyers from you, so I can make sure I put it in
Absolutely.
the app.
Thank you.
So you guys can be up to date on that. I know that sounds exciting, but Whitney, I have enjoyed this conversation. It feels like I could talk to you for a minute about a lot of different topics.
We are just going.
It's like a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna talk about it just because I don't know what the audience is taking later. But I think I really enjoyed this conversation, and I definitely could feel that we'll definitely have you back. You have our full support in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
Can you tell us again where we can connect with you and your business, support, and all that good stuff?
Okay. Let's see. I want everyone to make sure that you follow Plan Cincy on all social media platforms. That is Instagram. Well, let me not say all, because I don't think we made it to Twitter yet. We didn't make it to X yet. But on the biggest ones, you can find Plant Cincy. Following Plant Cincy will keep you up to date on all of the events, in case you didn't get it in the interview that we just did. We drop flyers all the time, and we'll keep you posted. And we even got some plant tips as well. And make sure you follow me, I Love October, on all social media platforms. ILUV October, and that'll keep you updated with what I have going on in the community, with just everything else, including plants. So follow me.
Awesome. Yeah, this is definitely well-rounded, and will keep you up to date on a lot of things. I love October. You a Libra?
I am.
I'm a Libra too, girl.
Yes. There it is. That's why we all about that balance and all about that unity.
Yes. It's key, and people don't even get it.
And all about that love.
Yes. That's all I want. Balance, love.
I am unity. Such a millennial. Because Gen Z do. What do? See, I'm a millennial, so I'm going to just do like this.
Yeah.
Talk about that love. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
I had an amazing time here.
Yes.
Your energy is everything.
Oh, thank you. And I look forward to our next conversation, y'all. So there you have it. That is this episode of the Hustle and Motivate podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you download the Cincy Black Travel app. Make sure you follow Plan Cincy. Did I say it right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, no, it's Plan Cincy.
Plan Cincy. And make sure you come back for another amazing episode of the Hustle and Motivate podcast. Until next time, y'all. Peace.